Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're going to be having a 1v1 on Semoskiy. No, it's not the winter version, it's the standard summer version, so we are fine. No ice, no winter, no. Anyways, our heroes today are going to be TNrg, playing for the Germans. And his opponent today will be Dagge, playing for the Soviets of the Red Army. So, let's talk about a little bit about our players now. I'll get off the bat and say, obviously, these are not the best players, so you may not have heard of them, but they're not bad. I mean, they're pretty good, and we should be seeing a decently even match. Now, TNrg, our hero here, is currently ranked 700 range for his German play, and his opponent, Dagge, is ranked in the 600 range for his Soviet play. Now, I'll make a small note there that Dagge here actually is ranked top 200 for his German play, so, you know, he's actually decently good. Now, he is playing, I suppose, his off faction, but yeah. Again, should be a decently even match, so let's see what we end up getting with. Now, you can see right off the bat that we have a Doctrine, and that is Dagge's Doctrine, and he has selected the Soviet industry tactics. You can see it right there, and you can see it both up here. Now, this is going to provide him with a lot of tanks. It improves your fuel income, reduces your manpower income, and also gives you the KV2 and the KV8. So, a very nice Doctrine there. A little controversial, I suppose, because of the speed at which you can get tanks and vehicles out. But, well, I suppose TNrg will have to figure it out in this case. So we see a tier 1 going down for Dagge and getting himself a scout car already and putting his combat engineers in that scout car. I would assume he's probably getting a flamethrower on that, although he may not have it at this point. But I mean, you can tell the effect of the Doctrine considering that we already have a scout car on the field. So I mean, I know those come out rather fast, but still. He did, you know, basically go for it straight. He only has one conscript squad and a second combat engineer, so not a lot on the field to cap with. But yeah, that's what's out. For TNrg, he hasn't selected his Doctrine. He's just going tier 1 like you would expect, getting himself some Grenadiers and MG42s. He did go for a 2 Pio opening, which is a little bit unusual to see, but not bad by any means. It is just a matter of choice, I suppose. Interestingly enough, though, it looks like he might have actually built his tier 1 with his initial squad, so usually, oh, well, we have a small engagement down south. The scout car managing to catch that Pioneer squad out in the open. Gonna chase it down and do some damage to it, but I'm pretty sure that squad is fine. I do not think it's gonna die. It will probably lose some men, but it'll, yeah, it'll be fine.
The enemy has engaged us!
So, MG42 in the house there, the Grenadiers pursuing, and that scout car is just going to go around the map, harassing, and get out of there. We do have a second pilot squad down south that is going to be very easily harassable by that scout car, so they should actually consider just retreating. Otherwise, that scout car might catch them and kill them, but, well, they're going to stay there for now. So yeah, tier 1 went down. I was saying that usually when you see a player going for a second Pio, is because they send their initial Pio out to cap, and the first one comes up and builds their tier 1 immediately afterwards. Usually like right around the exit there, but yeah. That's fine, I mean, it doesn't really mean it's bad. So it looks like a rifle nade went down here on top of the scout car, dealing some damage and bringing it down to about half health. Faust gets selected, and down goes the scout car. So those combat engineers are caught out there without a ride. The Grenadiers decide to back off and get themselves out of negative cover, and are just, yeah, there we go, finally they decide to turn around and aim. They were waiting for a synchronized volley. Now the combat engineers will have some cover in the carcass of this scout car, meaning heavy cover, so these Grenadiers will have a little bit of a difficult time, but they should be fine. Center map, we might have more conscripts now on the field for Dagge, and he gets himself yet another scout car, brings it out onto the field, and we still have no flamethrowers on his combat engineers, which is unusual. Usually when, you know, somebody goes for scout cars, you expect to see that clown car with a flamethrower. Otherwise, it doesn't really make that big an impact. It is still a very mobile unit and capable of harassing and supporting, but usually the most impact that you see on the scout car is when it has that flamethrower. There we go, finally we see the flamethrower on the combat engineer squad. It's going to back off and get in that car, and then they're going to go harassing stuff. So right-hand side, the Grenadiers have actually held their own quite decently. They're only now down to 2 men, and they have engaged a combat engineer squad and a conscript squad. Rifleman going down right on top of the conscript squad, down to 1 man, forcing the retreat. But the Grenadiers themselves will retreat as well, since they are a little bit, well, damaged. Panzer Grenadiers now on the field, tier 2 down for TNrg. He's getting himself a scout car after that because he has seen the Soviet scout car. I'm not sure if he has identified that it is a Soviet industry doctrine. Yeah, it's called Soviet industry doctrine. So yeah, so the flamethrower doing its harassing job, going up against the not the flamethrower, the MG42 pushing away a PIO squad. The Grenadier squad in a little bit of trouble. Not combat engineers, the combat engineers inside. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Gonna try and get that kill on that MG42, but it looks like it makes it out of there alive. Second combat engineer squad jumps into the house, denying that cover there for those Grenadiers, but the Grenadiers usually don't actually want that cover because of that flamethrower, so they decide to retreat finally. Scout car taking quite a beating, down to very low health, and Panzer Grenadiers now on the field go ahead and annihilate the car. The combat engineers will run into the house, down to 1 man as they run inside. They will throw their flamethrower at those Panzer Grenadiers, trying to flush it out, but with only 35% effectiveness now in the houses, that combat engineer is toast. He is going to move around a little bit, but there it goes. Ignite himself inside the house, and the house might even burn down. I don't think it will, but it might. Second combat engineer squad jumps out of the house, and the scout car is going to go pursuing. No, it decides to just kill 1 more guy, and there it goes. Penal Battalion now on the scout car for Dagge with a flamethrower, so that's going to be way more firepower than before. But with no guard rifles for TNrg, that scout car is actually going to have a very easy time of dealing with the Soviet scout cars. So down it goes. The Penal Battalion stays on the field, going to pop out and start to harass the Soviet scout car. The Panzer Grenadiers are forced to retreat. They did take quite a beating down south. PIO's just moving back, retreating. And currently, TNrg doesn't have anything on the field. He is moving out. He could do with a med bunker right now if he could afford it, because his units are coming out onto the field. But look at that damage. I mean, MG42 down to about half health, fully reinforced. Grenadier squad at about 75, both of them. So yeah, I mean, his units are coming up injured, so he could do with some medics, really. Rifle nades going down on the Penal Battalion. Penal Battalion taking some losses, down to 4 men. They still have that flamethrower, so it looks like they're probably going to run and get into that house. And the flamethrower should be able to throw a burst from there, although these guys have backed off, so they're no longer in rage. MG42 just going to open up in the house. Down goes one of the members, and they have to jump out. And they're probably going to retreat. So, let's see. Back at base, Dagge has decided to go for his tier 3. So, tier 1, tier 3 approach. And we're probably going to be seeing a lot of tanks now. T-70s or T-34s. He does have enough fuel to get a T-34 if he wants to, so we may just see that. We'll see if the overlay catches the speed at which the Soviet industry produces the tanks, which is very, very fast. So, TNrg managing to stabilize the center, starts to recapture the point, although he is using both his squads to capture at the same time. Could do with splitting up a little bit and sending another squad forward and trying to catch this other spot. Right-hand side, we see some units for Dagge moving around to decap and cap points. 2-man conscript squad could do with some retreating. This 6-man conscript squad will do the job just this well over here. And the Grenadiers are just moving around in the center.
Territory secured.
Grenadiers end up being the ones to capture. Panzer Grenadiers moving over to the left-hand side, going to go decap some more points. And I missed it completely because I was focusing on the unit movement, but we already have the T-34 on the field, and it isn't that long ago that I told you that the Tier 3 was building. So, I mean, I guess you can kind of tell how fast the T-34 comes out with this doctrine, because it says right there, if you haven't actually checked, Soviet industry, divert manpower to the home front, vehicle build time is decreased, fuel income is increased, while manpower income is decreased. You can see right here that he is under 200 manpower per minute resource income for for Dagge. T-34 hits the center in force and takes some nasty shots at that scout car, but fortunately there was a Grenadier squad there for support. Manages to get the foul stuff on that T-34, and the scout car makes it out of there barely alive. Does get veteran C1, but it is at about 25% health, if that. Conscripts moving around capturing, and yeah. So the fuel income also, as you can see, currently has 29, while TNrg has 26, which is respectable considering the amount of territory he has, but even so, Dagge still out controls him. He is now shooting up to 32 fuel, having captured more territories over here on the right hand side. So yeah, I mean, you can just see the effect there. So another T-34 could be produced right now, or he could go with the T-70s, who knows, but oh well. So T-34 in the center is just crawling back to its side of the field to get some repairs. Combat engineers are nowhere to be seen here. They're actually moving up to the north. They could do with moving back down south. Yeah, there they go. And the Penal Battalion at 3 men is engaging a Panzer Grenadier squad. Panzer Grenadiers could actually afford in this situation to just rush that Penal Battalion. And they actually realize that. They move up to the wall, get themselves into heavy cover, and start opening up. Down to 2 men on that Penal Battalion. They decide, you know what, we're going to go for it. Flamethrower goes off, does a little bit of damage. Down to 1 man. They are pursuing. Can they finish off the Penal Battalion? They are trying their best, but he manages to run away rather fast. Cut the corner around that building and gets himself out of sight. He's going to be alive, so very lucky there for Dagge. So the T-34 has been produced. You can see the T-70 right there. Look at that. And it's out. So build times are ridiculously fast, but that is the theme of the Doctrine. But yeah, it's kind of scary. So yeah, you can get a lot of tanks very quickly and just overwhelm your opponent without him being able to do much. So back at base, we see TNrg just repairing his scout car. Scout car pretty much has outlived its usefulness at this point because it just won't be able to do much. It could upgrade. Sorry, I needed some brain power. It could upgrade the auto cannons just to have some extra firepower and be able to deal, you know, some damage to the tanks, because it can actually penetrate the armor of the T-34 and especially the T-70. But it most of the time, I mean, unless it's focused on something else or it loses its weapon, it's gonna lose the fight. I mean, most that it can do is just pop in to take a couple shots and then back out, and we'll have to get repaired again. So Tier 3 is down for TNrg. He's gonna get himself a Panzer IV to be able to combat this T-34. He has now realized that there is a T-70 on the field. He's retreating his Panzer Grenadiers because they have no way to deal with it. Conscript squad will shoot them on the way, doing some additional damage, but I think they'll be fine. And a med bunker is very required here. You see all the infantry here for TNrg back at base, not even being able to be reinforced because of the manpower, and they are unable to heal. They would have been up to full health at least. MG42 getting harassed by conscripts and the T-34. The T-34 opens up, clears out 3 guys in 1 shot apparently, and the MG42 is forced to move out of the way. Pack gun backs off and sets up in an angle where it thinks something is approaching, but the T-70 is in a nice angle there to come in for the flank. Scout car is there for support, but the scout car really will not be able to do anything. It'll just tickle the T-70 and will only really anger it and provoke it. Pioneer sneaking behind enemy lines, going on the right hand side for the fuel point, so that's going to cut off the fuel for Dagge. He still has the rest of the territory in the center of the map in his possession because he controls pretty much everything, so the resource doesn't drain that much. He does lose the fuel point, but he still has 43 fuel income, so that's quite a bit. He is also getting himself some half-tracks, deciding to go for some, well, mobile reinforcing and possibility of anti-air, the quad gun, which also doubles as anti-infantry. So T-34 over here behind enemy lines going to get shot by that Panzer IV. Panzer IV kind of misses its first shot, blowing its chance. T-34 goes for a ram, burns out in a second, and has to reposition itself to be able to get the ram. The Panzer IV closes the distance. One of the things that you need to keep in mind is that the ram has a minimum distance to effect. So if you want to use the ram ability, you need to, I mean, if you want to deny your opponent the ability to use the ram, just get all up in his face. Like right there, where the T-34 was not able to get the ram up on the Panzer IV, what TNrg needed to do there is just simply move up and get right in the T-34's space and chase him everywhere, and you would have won that fight. But unfortunately, the T-34 does get its ram off, and the Panzer IV is done for. The T-70 is actually never looked so harassed, so threatening. The pack gun rethinks it, decides to turn around and takes out that T-70. allowing the Panzer IV to stay alive, and that T-34 is now going to get killed by the Pack. So the Pack gun has done a very good job there, allowing it to stay alive. Half-track with its coaxial gun moves up, manages to dodge a shot there from the Pack gun, although apparently it got a little bit of a delayed reaction there and then got shot afterwards. Pack gun, however, does get decrewed. The base sector MG opening up. Overdrive gets hit on that half-track and it gets out of there alive. Another T-34 on the field for Dagge because he could replace them pretty much instantly. And the half-track over here now has a flamethrower penal battalion, so that's going to be quite annoying. You can essentially use it just the same as a what do you call it? The tier 1 half-track, but you know, the tier 1 scout car, but you know it's going to be a half-track, so it's kind of annoying. Anyways, so TNrg is just going into the center, decapping victory points. Victory point wise right now it's 363 to 387, so anybody's game, but currently Dagge is in the lead. He has more points and is currently bleeding TNrg. TNrg is just sneaking around going for the decap of points, and we have just vehicles on the field. Oh my, dang it. Sorry guys, I didn't actually realize that messed it up. Second here, I'm gonna check if it's like this all the time. Oh, it is. Oh, that is unfortunate. Pretty much the entire game. Well, no, it looks like it's gonna be fine. Well, sorry about that, guys. Looks like the overlay is gonna be ugly for a little while. You'll have to bear with me. I don't know why it messed up. It was fine, but oh well. So we're at 17 minutes and stop it there, and we'll wait for it to catch up. Sorry guys, a little bit distracted with that, but I did not realize upon quick review that there was an error with the overlay. That's gonna look ugly. I apologize again, but well, not much I can do for it right now. We can start picking it back up in a second, and there we go. So it'll continue. It should remove itself after a while, but yeah, it looks like yeah. That's I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. So Panzer IV back on the field for TNrg. He manages to repair it, moves into the center, takes some shots at that T-34. T-34 retaliates, and the Panzer IV takes some frontal damage. Scout car moves in front, just begging to get itself shot. Panzer Grenadiers moving beside it just for support. But TNrg is currently just, well, TNrg is essentially just pinned into his base right now. He does have the sector over here on this side. Conscripts are going over there to decap it. The Grenadiers are nearby. They can throw a nice rifle nade at this conscript squad and do some damage. But yeah, I mean, that's going to be quite difficult. So the Panzer IV moves up, takes more shots at that T-34. The T-34 looks like it took some engine damage. It is now a little bit in trouble. Panzer Grenadiers move over to the right-hand side, gonna try and decap that point, stop that bleed for a while. Now to 287, 281, now to 79, 77. So TNrg is bleeding heavily. He is now under, or well, the difference is now 100 points there. So Dagge is sitting in a nice spot. Combat engineers running to the left-hand side to the north. Grenadiers moving right on top of them and are gonna engage. And flamethrower might throw the fight in the favor of those Grenadiers, but the Grenadiers actually don't even notice that they're fighting. They are moving along their way on their queued up orders, and they're just getting burned alive by those combat engineers. Now they decide to stop. They did take one loss, and retreat. So there we go, the overlay fixed itself. I don't think, I hope, I'm not sure. I think that's all the glitches that it's going to have, but yeah, well. Can't win them all. Usually I check, I just check quickly, make sure that everything is in order, but sometimes it's just like that, just sneak by. Yeah, well, we'll have to be more thorough next time. So TNrg really not capable of doing much right now. He is just sitting in his two sectors of the map, the cutoff or exit to his base, and the fuel point right next to him. He does not have much. I mean, he can produce another Panzer IV now, I believe. Yeah, he has just enough for another Panzer IV if he wants to go for more. Well, I guess the Stug would be more anti-tank, but more multi-purpose vehicles. Dagge, for his part, hasn't really gotten much, and it looks like the overlay is messed up again. Oh my god. How did that even happen? I think it's because of over here. No. I don't even remember where I said it. I think I said it here. I don't know. It doesn't make much sense to me. Yeah, well, whatever. Here.
Resistance! Taking fire!
I don't know. Well, I'm too distracted. Sorry, guys. You know that happens with me sometimes. Some things just don't let me enjoy the game. But nothing really happening right now in the game. A little bit of a stalemate by both players. They're not really pushing onto each other's sides. TNrg is kind of pinned into his base, but he has been allowed right now to push back out. Combat engineers up here on the north get annihilated, and the center map is currently getting recapped by TNrg. We have some Panzer Grenadiers just capturing territory. Panzer Force behind it. Pack-ons there for support. But all these T-34s are just not doing anything, so not sure why Dagge went with the Soviet industry doctrine if he's not going to get more tanks. In this situation, he has 56 manpower and the capability of just getting more, not manpower, population cap. So he has the ability to get more. Now he's getting himself another tank, a T-70, just to flood with more stuff. But, well, he did go for the KV-2, which is the first time we actually see on a replay, and takes a nice shot there at that Panzer IV. Panzer IV going to decide to back off. And that KV-2 is a very threatening weapon. Another shot flies off, but it misses the Panzer IV. And it just stays there aiming. It actually has firing position, increased range and rate of fire, but it is mobile. And you see the pretty much artillery gun on that thing going straight onto the enemy base. So the Panzer IV backs off, gets itself better into two, nailing one of the T-34s, and now has armored skirts, hitting Blitzkrieg, getting itself out of there, and that T-34 decides to rethink its strategy, but it rethinks it now dead. Well, he's dead. So that KV-8 was probably what TNrg was waiting, I mean not TNrg, Dagge was waiting for, so that's why he hadn't produced much. But with the KV-2 on the field now, well, not much that can happen. Also, a repair station was built for Dagge, and he is repairing his half-track with that. Other half-track did go down, it looks like. Yeah, it went down right here. So yeah, I mean, he is losing a lot. He doesn't even have infantry to recap the map, so not really going well for Dagge. I mean, could have very easily just flooded TNrg with T-34s and just killed him in his base, but well, he wanted to get that KV-2, and doing that actually allowed TNrg to come back into the game. It's still anybody's game at this point because, well, Soviet industry will allow him to keep on building those T-34s very quickly. But yeah, I mean, TNrg has a veteran T2 tank. He could build himself a Pak-43. That Pak-43 has actually pretty bad range. That is not a good spot for that Pak-43. I mean, I suppose it is really the best spot, but I mean, it really only covers this area of the map right here. So if they try to assault him, yeah, that Pak-43 will help. If he had put it somewhere maybe around here behind this house, that would probably be giving him more options. He would cover this entire area of the map. So personally, I would have done it over here a little bit and just defend this area so it doesn't get assaulted. It's still a very big target for artilleries or strikes, or I mean, there's no artillery here for Dagge, but you know, the satchel charge run by or something like that. But still, I mean, he can always come through this direction and do it anyways. It is covered here, I suppose, but I don't know. I don't like it here. I don't feel it does much. It's wasting a lot of territory that it can cover there, but whatever. So, half-track just sitting in the center right now. Dagge not really doing much. He has penal battalions, and conscripts just going down, capturing the south. T-70 over here. Doesn't really have a lot of manpower, but that is the nature of the Doctrine. He has reduced income, so he's not going to be able to have a lot of manpower. And yet again, we have another thing. Oh, I think it's because it's over here. Yeah, I think I did it over here. Ah, well, never mind, guys. It's just gonna keep on breaking throughout the entire game. I guess I can't really fix that. But, well, either we cancel the replay and do it again, or we just keep on trucking it. Let's keep on trucking. So, we see yet another Soviet scout car going for the run by. He's gonna go straight at that pack gun and gonna try to throw a satchel at it, it looks like. Out goes the Penal Battalion. Penal Battalion sets up and takes a nasty shot. Scout car goes down, and the Penal Battalion gonna throw that satchel. No, yeah, they do. Satchel goes down, and that pack gun is fine. Well, that is that. So satchel charge is not a good way to deal with pack guns. Those pack guns are just gonna stay alive, and this is keeping those tanks at bay. Artillery barrages there by that KV-2, shooting up on the north or left-hand side to this Grenadier squad, trying to dislodge it. He loses sight of them, however, so the KV-2 will no longer keep shooting. Does it actually have any type of barrage ability? I'm going to do a quick change here just to check. I never seen this unit in play. Well, this has just become mobile and everything, and no, it actually doesn't have any type of barrage, so you can't tell it. I mean, obviously, you can tell it to attack ground, but that's about it. So let's go ahead and switch back. Okay. Let's unbreak this thing because it loses its icons. And there we go. So the Grenadiers over here on the left-hand side, now getting harassed by that T-70, forced to run away. KV-8 now on the field for Dagge, so that's going to spell disaster for the infantry of TNrg, but TNrg is right now in a very comfortable position. He has all 3 victory points and is at 255 points, while Dagge is now less than him. He's at 245, so managed to turn it around and do that. Panzer IV over here on the approach, going to run into that KV-8. That KV-8 is in a lot of trouble to that Panzer IV. Probably going to stop and retreat. No, the Panzer IV could do with getting in its way to stop it so that those Grenadiers can make it out, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. The Grenadiers are going to get killed by that KV-8. The KV-8 is going straight for that PaK-43 gun. The PaK-43 gun gets turned around and is going to just shoot that KV-8 as it approaches. Down it goes with the pack gun for support. Unfortunately, though, for TNrg, he did lose his Grenadier squad in the process. Who actually got the kill for that? I think it was the AT gun. Yeah. What is shooting? I mean, I see the light artillery barrage over here. Oh, there's a left artillery gun. Never mind. So I was, what is that? Yeah, there's an artillery gun in the field. Where is it? There it is. So that artillery gun is currently shooting over there. I think it was trying to nail that KV-2, but the KV-2 moved out of the way. So you can see the shots landing right there. Okay. So yeah. Well, again, apologies. I seem to be a little bit too distracted in this game, but well, it's a very slow game apparently. I mean, not a lot is happening. It's just more standoffish. We see people holding their weapons and tanks in their own sides of the field, and then just infantry just going in and capturing. I mean, you have this KV-2 right here that has not even been able to shoot this guy. This half-track is not moving into position to see it. So, I mean, it's kind of weird. So, more artillery barrages over here on the side by that left gun. It's trying to shoot the repair station. The Panzer IV realizes, oh, that's a repair station. I'm going to try to shoot it. The artillery gun says, shoot that tank! But it forgets, oh, wait, that's a Panzer IV. That's ours. KV-2 moves in, takes a shot at that Panzer IV, but misses. Panzer IV still getting shot by its own artillery gun for a little bit. Faust does go off on that half-track. And the KV-2 actually almost takes a direct shot from that artillery gun. Oh. One of those repair guys got nailed by the artillery shot. That's a very long-lasting barrage, gotta say. Goes all night. So the artillery barrage pretty much lasts as long as the recharge. I mean, it's about what, like 10-15 seconds before it recharges again. It's back up, and TNrg can just use it again if he wants to. Right hand side, scout car gets taken down by that T-70. Yeah, didn't have much of a choice. Artillery gun shooting once again, and the shots are flying in this direction once again. That repair station is going to go down, I think. nasty shot, nails the repair station, and down it goes. More shots will land in this area, but I think that's fine. The vehicles are now going to just move out of the zone, and they're going to be fine. So nice usage of the artillery. Could also take down a fuel cache if it hits it. Brings it down to about half health, but it looks like it's going to be fine. Panzer IV moving over to the left-hand side, going to try to go for some kills. There are a lot of vehicles on this side for it to fight, however, so might be in a little bit of trouble. And we now see Tier 4 down for TNrg, and he's getting himself a Panther. So he decides to go with the Panther. Panther has a little bit more capability there. The T-34, well, yeah, T-34 backs off, going to go for the Ram probably. Panzer IV stops, going to duke it out with that T-34. The T-34 backs off, goes for the Ram, and the Panzer IV gets the hell out of there and says, "You are not going to ram me. I do not want your barrel in my face. You're going to burn out your engine before you even reach me, and you're going to die." Nice movement there by TNrg. Excellent usage of the Blitzkrieg, and a little bit too overzealous there by Dagge. Once he saw the Blitzkrieg being used, he should have decided to simply, you know, call it off. Back off a little bit, get into the cover of your big-ass tank, and call it a day. And then try to catch that Panzer IV once his Blitzkrieg runs out. But, well, he doesn't really care much, since he can replace that T-34 immediately, and another one comes into the field. So center map, Conscript's going for the cap, so again, TNrg gonna get led a little bit. He's down to 239. Dagge got brought down to 161. And he's now sending some Grenadiers over to the right-hand side to try to capture the point. The artillery gun being used non-stop pretty much here, shooting into the center point, trying to get that victory point, but the Conscripts did cap it and move forward. We now have that Panzer IV and the Panther moving on this side. The Panther will maybe go in for a little flank. Panzer IV engaging that Penal Battalion. The Penal Battalion is really no threat to that Panzer IV. Could throw a satchel, but the Panzer IV will just move out of the way. Panther moving up over on the left-hand side. Gonna get a little bit surprised there by the KV-2. Oh, was that an actual... Yeah, I think that might have been a satchel. Yeah, well, I missed it, unfortunately. I was looking at the Panther. But yeah, that is a threat, but, well, I would have expected TNrg to be able to move it out of the way. So, right-hand side, T-70 going in for the harass. Grenadiers taking a beating. Able to stand there for a while, but they are going to die. And the Panther now duking it out with the T-34. The T-34 tries to go for the ramp once again, but burns out its engine, and is now she's going to get shot by that Panther. Panther taking some damage from the T-34, but managing to destroy the weapon, and should be able to finish it off. No, it decides to back off out of sight range. What are you doing, TNrg? No, he's still there, taking some shots. T-34 is still there. Now decides to back off. Panther moves forward, misses another shot. Just advance even further, goes for another ram. Ooh, nice move there by Dagge. Uses his pretty much that T-34 and well, yeah, pretty much annihilates that Panther. A nasty shot there by the KV-2 hits that Pioneer squad, so that Pioneer squad is not going to be able to do much. It needs to get the hell out of there and reinforce, otherwise it's going to repair worse than the turtle. More T-34s on the field for Dagge, so he doesn't want to use a lot of them. He just wants to have some on the field whenever he needs them. A lot of fuel right now in the field for TNrg, and he does have some manpower, so he could produce himself another Panther if he wanted to. Grenadiers moving up for the decap on the left-hand side. Very nice. They're going to have to work with that fuel cache, however, to be able to finish it off. And the other T-34 goes in for the ram and finishes off the Panther, and the Panther is now dead. So another Panther getting produced for Dagge. He has to do that now because he doesn't have any other tanks. But, not Dagge, TNrg. But Dagge doesn't actually have pretty much anything on the field. That T-70 is doing a lot of work. He's being able to harass those Grenadiers quite effectively. Grenadiers now down to 2 men, forced to retreat. But, I mean, infantry-wise, he only has 1 conscript and 1 penal battalion, which he's actually been using for pretty much the entire game. I guess he can't really afford to do much else with them because he doesn't have a lot of manpower.
Grenadier squad at full strength.
So Grenadiers forced to retreat. Where's that MG42 anyways? Yeah. MG42 up north. Okay. So it is being used a little bit. Pack gun there for support. And I suppose it's okay that the pack gun is here. I mean, another reason it's good that it's there is because if it wasn't, Dagge could have actually just approached in this direction and start sieging the base with that KV-2. So, yeah, I guess that's fine. I don't like it personally, but I guess it's fine. It serves other purposes as well.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Penal Battalion and conscripts pushing into the center, going to go again for the victory points, down to 175 for TNrg. Dagge is sitting at a 161, so still in the lead TNrg, but he is getting triple capped. Well, nah, he's only going to get double capped at most, and he's going to capture the right-hand side, which means he is actually going to be in an okay spot. So T-70 heading into the center. Pios and Grenadiers there to engage. Panther on the field goes over to the left-hand side, going in for a little bit of a flank, but there's nothing to flank. And the Grenadiers and Pios are going to be forced to retreat due to that T-70. T-70 running over to the right-hand side. There is another Grand Squad there that will throw yet another Faust at it, trying to finish it off. Munitions-wise, Dagge is sitting in a buttload, so he could actually be utilizing his repair ability on that T-70, but the armor-piercing rounds do go off on that MG-42, going to try to finish off that T-70, and down it goes. Grenadier Squad does retreat in the end, but he manages to finish off the T-70. However, Dagge is just going to produce another T-70, and yet another one right behind it, and look at that. That's actually a convoy. No, actually he cancelled it. Okay, never mind. Panther gets into the rear armor of that KV-8. KV-8 taking quite a beating there, down to less than half health, but the Panther is in a little bit of trouble. T-70 moves up, start taking some shots at the rear armor of the Panther. The Panther takes a frontal shot from that KV-2 and suffers some damage. Now gets himself to the rear armor of the KV-2, going to take some shots, and the KV-2 is now down to about 25% health. He is able to outrun the gun of the KV-2. Realizes that now, takes a shot and abandons the KV-2. Needs to finish it off with one more shot. Left artillery gun being used in the sector actually nails the T-70, and it nails the carcass of that KV-2. So very nice there for TNrg. A lucky break there with that artillery strike. And the Panthers is going to finish off that T-70. Well, it's like an annoying little brother on top of it. It's like, hey, I'm going to kill you. Hey. It's like, wait, get away from me. Okay, you're dead. I don't know why you would kill your little brother, but you know, kind of how it feels. So the T-70 makes it out of there alive. And, yeah. What is the other ability? It's the, oh, no, it's repair. Never mind. Okay. Well, yeah, really the only ability that he can use is the repair or self-repair ability on the tanks. And then just, you know, laying down mines. Unfortunately, no mines have been used this game, which Dagge could work on doing that. TNrg now getting an opportunity to go into the center of the map. We have Half-Track running over to the right-hand side, trying to push away everything. Actually does manage to dislodge the German infantry, and they're going to recap the point. Down to 133 for TNrg, 155 for Dagge. So very close game still. Anybody's game at this point. And very weird play by both players. Oh, I guess I never mentioned it. TNrg got the Joint Operations Doctrine. So I got that lift gun. And the Pak-43, so it's kind of nice. Very heavy weapons there. Very prone to removal, but unfortunately with the Soviet Doctrine, you don't have any artillery strikes, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. T-34 taking the Faust to the face. T-70 there, again, also for support. The Pak gun could... Yeah, it is going to turn over here to be able to defend this area. T-70 knows that that area is off limits, so he's just simply going to back off. Half-Track moving around, harassing the infantry as they approach. Pak gun moves up and is going to set up to take a shot if he can. But no, the Half-Track moves out of the way. Left-hand side, Panther getting repaired by the Pios. Pios not repairing it very quickly. There they go. Repairs going to start going off. And we have a flak gun on the field for TNrg. An interesting choice. Not exactly sure that I agree with it. I do like me some flak guns, but there's not a lot of infantry on the field for that flak gun to deal with. And obviously there's also no flybys because of the Doctrine. So yeah, I'm I'm not convinced with that. He could have actually done with something else. TNrg. Flak gun can do very quick work of the T-70, so I suppose that's okay. But other than that, there's only, what, a conscript squad and a penal battalion to deal with. I'm going to go for the conscript squad. The conscript squad taking a little bit of a beating there, down to 3 men on the retreat. Taking some more shots, but it looks like it's going to make it out alive, down to 2. Where's the other guy? Is he in front of him? No, down to 1. Okay, never mind. So yeah, that's why it's only 2 guys. Very lucky conscript squad. Penal battalion in the center, getting harassed by that Flak Panzer. The Flak Panzer gonna now start getting shot by the T-70 and the T-34. The pack gun is currently aimed in this direction. Could use with turning a little bit more. Trying to bait in these T-70s and T-34s. T-70 taking a big damage there. And on the left-hand side, we see the Panther moving around. Panther gonna get rammed by the T-34 probably. Backing off as fast as he can, wants to stay out of range of that T-34, or just get all up in there. T-34 backing off right now. No. Yeah. No. So, nice maneuvering here by TNrg, allowing his Panther to stay in the fight. Kills that T-34, and that T-70 is coming up next. We have yet another KV-2 on the field for Dagge. So he wants that big heavy tank, but I don't think that's actually going to be the right choice. His infantry is pretty much useless right now. He's not being able to cap anything. So TNrg taking this opportunity to recap the map. Going to start putting the bleed back on Dagge's side. So 108 points for TNrg, 139 for Dagge. And yeah. So the KV-2 is going to come back onto the field, but if it's not supported, that Panther will do the same thing that he did to its brother. So he needs to keep it in a defensible position and bring up a T-34 at least and have it next to it so that he could at least go for the ramp if necessary, right? Panzer Grenadier is getting produced for TNrg. Wants to use that manpower and have more capping capabilities. Panther up north, forcing away the combat engineers so they're not able to capture this point. And we now have a triple cap going for TNrg, bringing down Dagge very quickly, down to 118 points already, so he's going to start getting the lead in a minute. So this could be where he turns the game into his favor. So KV-2 going very bold, very forward, getting caught again by that Panther. Panther is going to pursue it, getting shot on the side, taking some damage from that KV-2, but will be able to pursue it anywhere it wants to go. Conscripts are now dead. Penal battalion back at base. The Panther decides against going into the center. She's going to back off. The Flak Panther's just covering the center. And Grenadiers just capturing everything else. MG-42 used over here to defend. And yeah. So, unfortunately, Dagge is utilizing his KV-2 in a very weird fashion. He is assaulting with it as if it was, you know, a main battle tank. This tank, I mean, it is a heavy tank, so it's going to take a lot of punishment, but it is essentially a support weapon. I mean, it's an artillery gun. It does impressive amounts of damage, but, I mean, it's just getting outmaneuvered here by the Panther, outgunned, not even able to keep tracking it with its turret, so that Panther makes it out of there alive. Now, finally, we get a T-34 on the field. Goes for the ram on the Panther. Backs off. Does get the ram, however. And that Panther is now in a lot of trouble. Remember, you can always hit reverse so you can keep moving in the direction. Yeah, very nice. Because, unfortunately, he hit for the Panther to, you know, move back. And the Panther wanted to turn around because apparently it's faster to go forward. Shots flying at the Panther from that KV-2. Return fire from the left artillery gun. Can he actually nail the KV-2? The KV-2 still shooting at that Panther. A nice shot there by the artillery gun. Destroys the engine on that KV-2. One more direct shot should do it, and there it goes. Amazing artillery shot there for TNrg, and that should probably do it. I don't think there's anything else Dagge can do, and he realizes that and throws the towel. He was going to lose anyways. He was down to 59 points in triple cap, so either way, TNrg was going to win. But yeah, very nice. Like I said, it's an evenly matched game. Not the best gameplay here, and the usage of the Doctrine here for Dagge. But, well, unfortunately, I don't think that the Soviet doctrine is a highly sought after doctrine for 1v1s. Team games, yeah, it's a very powerful one, but in 1v1s there are better alternatives. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.